Hello, I just realized my mic was on that entire time. I hope you enjoyed the clicking sounds, and I also hope I didn't say anything. I don't think I did. But hello, welcome to the stream, Dip. You're here, always here. Good to have you. Mason's also here. Come here. I am sorry for not streaming last week. Life's rough. And then you die. That's what my dad always used to say, when concerned about the notification. Oh wait, no, I didn't change the notification that sent out. I don't even remember what it was. It was from me making a Snoop Dogg's pie from his cookbook that it ended up being a TikTok stream because I don't know what was going on with my computer. I have absolutely no idea, but it was so weird. Like no one showed up, first of all. Random. Um But then also like my camera died literally like in the middle of it, like it just froze and I could not close out the programming. Yeah, it was a 10-minute stream. 'Cause I couldn't close out the programming. I don't know. I don't actually. I actually didn't watch over the footage. I don't know if it kept going, but it was frozen on my screen. So I'm like, oh, let me refresh this, and it just didn't work. I couldn't close out the programming, and so I just had to restart my whole computer. And I already had all of my ingredients set out already. So oh, Snoop Dogg's cream pie. That's what the notification was. That's what my going live streaming notification was. Yeah, that was for yeah. I made a pie from Snoop Dogg's. Yeah, but thank you, and also thank you. What? I don't know. Welcome to the stream, Jangle Man. First time here, already excited. I'm excited for you, but also a little horrified. I'm so sorry. um, Very concerning, yeah. But yeah, also hello Envy, Luna, welcome back to the stream. Raina Boat, welcome back. The Arthur Game Library, interesting. Very concerning, always. Read in boat. I always read your name wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to everyone for whatever the fuck this is gonna be. It's been a while since I streamed, but yeah. So last Tuesday stream ended up being a TikTok live because I already had all the ingredients and I was like, fuck it, might as well. Um, and then last week Friday I closed, and then the week before that we were having sad boy hours because it's cold outside, the depression's hitting. I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to make the best of it. It's hard, but we're killing it, and we are good people to a certain extent. Um, which is why what makes me feel better personally is looking at other people's fuck ups. It's a good time. Keep forgetting that I don't have hotkeys for fucking Streamlabs. I still gotta set that up. Um, Welcome to Am I the Asshole? We can get rid of that. If anyone knows how to change my fucking browser from Yahoo to Google, I have tried to change it 3 times. I've gone to settings. I've done the entire process. It doesn't work. I don't know what happens, but also I'll figure it out later. It's a later problem. But we are good people, so it's time to judge other people for being assholes, if they are in fact assholes or not assholes. I'm just doing the what's hot right now because that's all the juicy stuff that's going on in the world right now. It's a good time. Sure. We ready to start into this? Hold on. Mason's on my lap, but I kind of want my water bottle. Also, fun fact, I bought a new water bottle. TikTok made me buy it. It has a straw, but you can also chug from it. It's a good time. But also, again, child. I don't know if you can actually see him, but child. I get joy from trash talking. I have no idea what any of those letters or numbers mean. If I look hard enough, I feel like I could figure him out, but Mason, I love you, but I need water. I've been so hydrated lately with this water bottle. I just pick them up like this. This is just a normal day for him. Anyway, next to me you go. But also, I'm literally gonna. I kind of just want to reach above you, but I'm gonna go to the side of you. But also, it's like literally. I'm sorry if you just saw my armpit. But also, you're welcome, weirdos. It's got straw right here, but you can chug from this part, and then it locks closed, and you can just. And I also have a sticker of one of the little dudes, coconut dudes from Moana. Don't ask why, because I'm gonna tell you right now. Now we gotta get into Am I the Asshole? My boss got a bunch of stickers from work. That's the story. You're welcome. Am I the asshole for dropping my sister's kid at Am I the asshole for dropping my sister's kid at a child-free wedding I was at? Like, drop. What? Is it still bleached? The armpit hair? Yeah, a little bit. But also not really. I'm still confused by the title. I usually like to judge the title first, like, just based off the title, but I don't know what context dropping is. Anyway, to make a long story short, I, 25 female, I'm a medical student. In my free time is very limited. I have lots and lots of commitments. My sister, 33 female, has 3 kids, all under 10, and often expects me to babysit for her, which isn't the main problem, but she drops them off at random times with very short notice or no notice at all. The other day, she called me saying she was on her way to drop her kids off at my place because she knew Lord Jesus, I don't know why I keep doing these. I can't read. Because she was attending her friend's child-free wedding and couldn't take her kids with her. I had a huge argument with her on the phone because I had to study from an upcoming exam, but next thing I knew, the kids were at my doorstep and she was already back in her car and drove away with her husband. I was so pissed I couldn't handle it. I decided to get dressed 30 minutes later and take the kids right to their mom and dad were. I drove them to the wedding, which was at her friend's house, and had them go in. The men there tried to stop my kids till my sister and her husband came rushing. My sister was shocked. She started shouting at me, but I quickly got in the car and drove off. That's not okay. This is just a taste of her own medicine at this point. Like, she did, you, that's the exact same thing that she did. Anyway, I went home and started calling me. After she realized I wasn't gonna pick up, she sent a few texts calling me unhinged and a fucking bitch. That's not enough. A fucking B? I assume that just means bitch. That's the only bad B word I know. I guess. I mean, I could probably think of another one, but anyway. For putting her in this situation and embarrassing her in front of her friends. She mentioned that bringing the kids to a child-free wedding and I disrespected her friend, which affected their relationship. You affected your sister. This is sister, right? Yeah. Affecting your sister's relationship with the. Her husband called later, and I picked up thinking he'd speak to me rationally like he always does, but he scolded me, saying that it wouldn't hurt if I kept the kids for a few hours, and I expressed how disappointed he was and how selfish and petty it was to do this to my sister and her kids. Now I'm thinking I should have sucked it up for a few hours. No. No, wait, where are the comments? I'm rarely on Reddit on my desktop. I'm always in the app. Give me the, do I actually have to, hello? Oh, view entire discussion. There we go. I got that. Oh yeah, judgment, not the asshole. That's exactly. Your sister dropped her kids off at your house without prior arrangement, assuming you had nothing else to do. She thinks she's entitled to everyone else's help. Or time and help. Hint, she's not. No, she's not. You didn't do this to your sister. She did this to herself. She knew she had a wedding. Yeah. She could have arranged something. She could have asked, you know, prior to the, I don't know. She and the hubby decide to be parents. It's their responsibility to take care of their children and not dump it onto someone where it's an inconvenience for them. Exactly. Without context, fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. Also, hello, Scaping Nowhere. Love a little bit of Am I the Asshole? It's a good time. It makes us feel better about ourselves because we're not, these people. Because even if they're not the asshole, there is an asshole in the situation that I just get upset about. It's a fun time. Also, hello, Weeb12345. 7. Anyway, how do I not be here anymore? Oh, close. Got it. Next one. Am I the asshole for telling my parents I'm not going to help them out ever again and they're on their own now? And they're on their own. It's too early to tell just by the title. Sometimes you can tell by the title, but sometimes the title is also completely the opposite of what it actually means. But also, sometimes there's that childhood trauma and you're like, I'm the oldest in my family. I had 2 siblings. My sister died when she was 6 months old to sudden infant death syndrome. Death. I was 5 at the time. When I was 6, when I was 6, they had my brother. From a young age, my brother showed concerning behavior, and over the years, it only got worse. He's very destructive and angry, and been in and out of our local children's hospital for psych evals and behavioral assessments since he was 4 years old. The police have been called to our house many times before to help him get under control. He has never been formally diagnosed, but he was medicated a few times to sedate him and try to curb the outbursts. My life was on hold because of all of this. I was not allowed to have friends over. I was not allowed to attend birthday parties until I was old enough to walk there myself. Money was tight, meant sacrificing a lot. When I was 9, I was 9 when I last celebrated my birthday with my family. Yeah, fuck the parents. I mean, not fuck the parents, but like, I already know where this is going, where they just. What? All I see is I ate a Christmas light at the age of 3. No context. Yeah, wonderful. um, I'm so yeah. No, this is a lot of childhood trauma. I can already tell that like he got left behind, and like there's no excuse for that. Like I understand it's an awful situation to be in, and like there are things that like aren't gonna be okay because of that situation. Like not everything's gonna be hunky dory when that's your sibling or that's your child, but that's no excuse to like neglect the other one. Like you had 2 kids. You had those 2 kids. You gotta take care of both those kids. Both of them. I say as an only child. It's karma on the parents' part. I haven't even gotten full the way through. Um, I was 9 when I last celebrated my birthday with my family, and once I hit 9, there was nothing again until I was 13 and considered old enough to do something with my friends without adult supervision, and even then I had to ask for no gifts because anything I had was broken by my brother. It was a nightmare. My parents would often leave me in charge so they could get a break, and then my life was hell. Once I was around 12, was considered old enough to watch him while mom got groceries, even though I was not old enough to hang with my friends. By 14, it was hours at night, even a few times overnight. I was not prepared at our house, was destroyed every time. My parents would express disappointment in handling things. Says the people who had to call the police on multiple occasions to keep their child in check. The best period of time when I was 16 and placed in residential treatment for a whole month. It was by far the best month of my life in years at that point. It was hard when he returned. Oh, when I was 16 and he was placed in a residential treatment for a whole month. By far the best month. It was hard when he returned, no better than he was when he left. It felt like my life had ended. I moved out as soon as I could and distanced myself from my family. My parents have tried to keep in touch, but I am bitter towards them about for my childhood, and they are aware. They have made excuses for why they made certain decisions. Now they need help. My brother's gotten worse, and they haven't had any kind of break in 7 months. They want me to babysit for a few hours or a night so they can get a break. I told them no. They told me they need my help. That's when I told them I would never help them again because they're on their own. Yeah, fuck them! No! That's exactly what you. No! They knew this day was coming. They had to have seen that, right? Like, they knew you weren't gonna stay there forever and do your babysitting. Babysit your fucking brother all the time. Like, you are a person. You deserve to have your own life away from your family. So, like, why didn't, like, a care person, the residential facility seems like the place that they should be if they're not, like, I don't know, they said that they have, like, no formal diagnosis. Like, why? I feel like that should be, because, like, once they hit that, they can figure out how to, because it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. They said it's worse. So, like, obviously, whatever they're doing isn't helping. I don't know. What do they say? Not the asshole. He's not your responsibility, and they need to get him properly diagnosed for services. Perhaps look into a group home situation for him. Like, you just destroyed, like, everyone's lives. The parents destroyed their own lives. 4 people's lives. The parents destroyed both the mother and father's lives, the son's life, both of the son's lives. I'm just saying. Honest kid probably has autism, ADHD, and the parents are just bad parents. It might be. Honestly, I feel like sometimes that's the case. Cause like, I don't know. They just don't properly want to understand it. They're just like, oh, this is how it is. Like, no, that's not how this has to be. Like, whatever you're doing obviously isn't working. So like maybe, I mean, there's no fixing. I mean, you can't fix the child, but there is ways to stop the emotional outbursts. I don't know. Yeah, that's also the thing. Like, you can't go over to a friend's house, but yeah, I can watch the brother. Sure, fuck those parents. Alright. Am I the asshole for doing the same thing to my sister-in-law that she does to my son? So background, I, 32 female, have a brother Dave, 35 male, who is married to Sarah, 35 female, or 39, 29 female. Lord Jesus. What was that? They don't have any children yet, but I have a son who just turned 4 and a 3-month-old daughter. With my husband, 39 male. My husband and I live in Belgium most of the time, but we travel back to visit family about once a month in England. At home we speak both English and French to our children. My husband is Belgian. Right now my son is very sweet in this very sweet phase where sometimes he'll mix up the two languages and say a couple of words in English in a French sentence or vice versa. This has never posed a problem to us. Even the staff at his nursery has reassured us that it's very common and they'll tend to grow out of it once school starts. That's actually kind of adorable. My sister-in-law has decided that this is a problem. Why? So when we're visiting my parents, she noticed my son doing this. She'll correct him, but she does so very rudely, whereas my husband and I will just gently correct him. Anyway, we're visiting at the moment, and she decided that instead of correcting him, she's just going to start ignoring him every time he does this. I sort of noticed her doing this when we arrived, and I thought it was odd, but I assumed maybe it was just stress. Her job is quite intense, but only really became an issue yesterday. My husband was talking with my dad outside, and I was feeding my daughter in the room. I left Lois and Sarah and Dave. There are so many people in this story. When I came back downstairs, Lewis was crying. I managed to understand that he tried to ask Sarah for a drink. He has a special cup that he was holding, so it's obvious that's what he meant. But she just ignored him. I asked her why, and she explained that she wasn't going to reply to him unless he said the sentence correctly, and I shouldn't be ignoring my son's obvious speech issues. For context, it's not that she didn't know what he wanted. Rude. She told me that she understood exactly what he was asking for, but that she was deliberately refusing because he hadn't asked correctly. This pissed me off, but luckily my husband came inside in that moment and pulled me away so we could calm down and settle Lewis. That night at the dinner table, Sarah asked me to pass her something, but she said it in bad English. She is English. I mean, just ask for it with slang. Think pass us the peas, will you? I had a bit of an epiphany and just decided to totally ignore her. She asked me again, and I did the same thing. My brother asked me why I was ignoring his wife, and I said that I'm not able to reply if she doesn't speak English correctly, and that it's wrong for him, wrong of him to ignore her obvious issues with grammar. Everyone, everyone's pretty pissed off with me, but I'll admit it was incredibly childish, but needless. Being a dickhead to my baby, should I just apologize? Oh, there's an edit. Wow, this really blew up. And thank you for all the comments and support. Thank you for the um everyone's the asshole or you're the asshole messages too. I'm not going to apologize for her. To be quite frank, I think she deserved it. But I will have a conversation with her and my brother before we leave to try to explain that for one thing, it's completely normal, and more importantly, if she keeps correcting or ignoring my son, I'll severely limit their contact. Although I doubt she'll ever leave him alone. Leave her. Yeah, fair. Although I doubt I'll ever leave him alone in a room with her again. To answer the few most common questions, when everyone was mad at me, I meant my brother, his wife, and my parents. Although my parents don't agree with what Sarah's doing either. They're more trying to keep the peace. My husband is entirely on my side. When we realized what Sarah had done to Lewis, he only saw the aftermath. He wanted to cut short the trip. Sarah and the rest of the family only speak English, which I suppose goes some way towards explaining why she doesn't understand it. I do think it's a monolingual reaction, and we've never experienced anything similar in Belgium. One final thing, a lot of stories about why we're in the UK so often. My husband has to be in the job. Yeah, I don't care about that stuff. Yeah, kid's smarter than you already. He knows 2 languages. You only know one, dumbass. Like, you're jealous of a child. Like, don't be correcting his grammar just because you don't know what he's saying. I just fully believe that, like, this lady, fucking Sarah, thinks the kid's, like, dumb or some shit, and it's just like, no, he's speaking another language. You idiot. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, sure, fuck her. Give everyone a taste of their own medicine. I'm fully for it. Uh, am I the asshole for towing my neighbor's car? Probably not. Honestly, I already know where the story's going. Neighbor parked somewhere stupid. Dude was like, hey, don't. Oh, female. Chick was like, hey, don't park here. And then they're like, fuck you. And then they park there again, and then they get towed. Like, and then they're like, oh, you're a fucking asshole. Like, am I the asshole because he blatantly my neighbor blatantly disrespected me and ignored my property line most of the time? I, 39 female, have lived in my condo for 3 years. We have assigned parking, and everyone knows this. It's in big, bold print in our contracts. It also says that you can be towed for unauthorized parking. Yeah, no, nope. A new neighbor just moved in last Saturday. She, early 20s, lives in the building in front of my spot. She has parked in my spot 4 times since then. At first, I sat behind her until she came out, and when she did, she said she was sorry and that she was just using it really fast. I told her that this is my spot and she could not use it. Needless to say, she did it again. The third time I told her I would have it towed if she did it again. And this morning I came home from a parent-teacher conference and she parked her car in my spot again. I calmly parked behind her and so she couldn't get out and went up to my apartment to call a tow truck. ETA was 30 minutes, so I drank a coffee and waited. My apartment number is painted on the parking spot, so she knows where I am. She never came up. When the ETA came, I went down, got in my car, and waited. She still hadn't come out. When the tow truck arrived, I moved and watched them hook up her car and tow it away. Just as the truck was leaving, she came tearing out of the building, screaming and freaking out. She called me a horrible, selfish cunt and told me that her Well, I told her that the world does not revolve around her and that she can't use other people's things, whatever, and for however long she wants. And then I told her that if anything happens to my car, I know who it is, and then parked in my spot and went inside. I love that. Yeah, no, not the asshole. That's literally, it's in the contract. You signed a legally binding contract. Was chilling in my living room with a friend, 41 male. Someone knocked on my door. Turns out it was her boyfriend, thinking he could get in my face over it. I'm a single mom, and she knows it. I'm going to have to pay $250 to get her car out, and she figures I should be the one to pay for it. I told him not only no, but fuck no, and he jerked open my screen door to get at me. Well, my pupperoo didn't like that too much and went at him, nearly biting him before I could get between them. My friend was right behind my dog, and I couldn't stop him. Very glad I have a doorbell cam to record the whole thing. My boyfriend went to jail for not only the assault, but he had warrants. She's saying it's my fault too. But girly, you're just a bad person. The boyfriend went to. Okay. I don't care if you're using my parking spot for just a quick moment. It's mine. Yeah. Lord Jesus. Am I the asshole for deleting my roommate's Netflix profile? My roommate and I all share an account on Netflix. Each have their own profiles. One of the roommates, Greg, gets angry if someone watches something on his profile, even though he doesn't pay for it or any other streaming services for the house. Greg goes off on us all night because someone messed up his viewing history and yelled at everyone in the house for almost an hour. I deleted all the individual profiles after talking to my other roommates after Greg went insane outbursts. Now it's two profiles saying me and roomies. Greg flipped out again, and that's just. Yeah, what? Imagine being pissed off about not even your own Netflix. My other roommate followed through, and Greg doesn't have the password to anything now, so he has no access to the TV because he doesn't pay for his own streaming. Greg is mad and saying we're treating him like a toddler when he's a man. Then don't act like a fucking toddler! I decided to have no more individual profiles, and using roommates is what we'll do. If he agrees, he can have the password again. Or, he agrees he can have the password again if. No, what? Greg is a toddler! Fuck Greg. Am I the asshole for changing the lock after my husband gave his mom a copy of the new house key? Absolutely not. If it was without your consent, if you did not, obviously I don't think you want the mom there, so no. My husband and I, both 30s, purchased a new house together last month. His mom nagged us for a copy of the key, but I refused because our old home, she kept letting herself into and invading our privacy. She begged, cried, and even tried to send people at me to pressure me to agree. I still refused, and later found out that my husband gave her a copy. I was livid. I had the biggest argument with him because of it. He said that it was done and that there was nothing I can do about it. I cried my eyes out in frustration and then contacted a locksmith and had the locks changed. My husband found out and went off without saying anything, that I had no right to make such a decision on my own. But giving your mom a key is a discussion that you aren't willing to have, because she's had the discussion and she said no and you still fucking did it, so. But I replied that he didn't consult me when he decided to let his mom have a copy of the key. I stated that he will no longer be living in I will not be living in paranoia in my own house anymore. He yelled at me asking what he should tell his mom now that he stormed off. His dad and his family knew and started calling me Miss Petty and whatnot. He refuses to speak to me unless I correct my mistake. Yeah, no, the correct way isn't with a locksmith. It's with a divorce lawyer. That is no. You can't fix a mama's boy. No. No. I'm so invested in these now. Am I the asshole for dumping the truth on my sister? Probably not. Everyone deserves to know the truth. Fuck the husband. Fuck Greg. Fuck the husband. fuck the neighbor. Fuck the neighbor's boyfriend. My parents had two girls, me, 17 female, and my sister, 14 female. I always felt like my parents saw me as a babysitter, as a third adult in the house. I have been expected me to be a 40-year-old kid teenager, whereas my sister was their baby. They spoiled her rotten. They adore her. She has never wanted for anything, and they do everything to make her happy. I was expected to take care of my sister for as long as I can remember. She's not special needs, was never sick, was never a preemie either, but that was the dynamic that was set up. I remember I would come home from school and my mom would have me help me feed my sister. I would, she would have me watch her, and then while she was in and out of watch her, and while she was in and out of the house, I would be told I needed to play with her if my sister was upset. She missed me a lot and my parents. I would insist I dedicate time to her once I was home. We'd go out as a family. She'd want something, they'd get it for her, but I was told to act my age if I wanted something. She would get to hang out with her friends whenever she wanted. I would. What? She would hang out with her friends whenever she wanted. Would have amazing birthday parties and sleepovers that I was never allowed to have. Also, never got to attend sleepovers at other friends' houses. There were times my parents would do really amazing stuff and I was left behind. Fuck 'em! Over time, my sister started to get annoyed by my pulling back when I was around 15. I kept to myself. I'm moody around then. I don't engage in family. I take punishments rather than do chores since she had none assigned to her. My parents hate that I wouldn't be their little housekeeper they wanted. My sister told me I'm a brat and ungrateful for not helping our parents who are amazing. Over time, it has gotten worse. She heard me making plans to leave with my friends for a couple months. She was so pissed that I was going to leave my family behind, and that she hadn't told the family, and that I hadn't told the family anything. She talked about how mom and dad has saved for us to go to college, and I just want to run away. Something broke inside me when she said that. I told her she had a college fund waiting for her, but I don't. She did. Dude, I. How do you make a college fund for one kid but not both? Like, that's so fucking rude. Why? She has a college fund waiting for her, but I don't. Just like she can get away with anything she wants, while I'm told to act my age and not want anything. I told her she expects me to be a maid when I get nothing and she gets everything. I told her I'm not that much older than her, but everyone expects me to be an adult. I asked her how she'd feel if she was supposed to juggle younger siblings, take care of the bulk of the household chores, schoolwork, and not getting time with friends. That the only reason you have shit is because you work, but it leaves you exhausted because you already have so much on. I told her my I told her that it's my life and she doesn't want to make me stay any more than our parents do. To cut this short, she's upset and I was called an asshole for being so mean to her. My sister said I was an asshole for dumping all that on her shoulders. What? She's mad because her feelings are hurt from the truth? Not the asshole, but your parents sure are. If you are upset by the truth, you are the asshole. Like, if someone says something completely and utterly true, and you're like, that's mean, that's a problem. You either need to fix yourself or fix yourself. Hello, guys. How's Terraria going with you? I downloaded it and then never played it. It was on sale though, so I got it. Still haven't played it though. It'll happen eventually. Am I the asshole for not showing up to a birthday party that my husband planned for me? I mean, based off the title, yeah, kinda. So my husband is a jokester and a prankster. Never mind. Full reverse. 180. So my husband's a jokester and a prankster, and he has a habit of pulling pranks, especially on my birthdays. He judges my reactions as overreactions, and he says that I should loosen up and be extra happy because he thinks he's making my birthdays extra funny, but it actually upsets me and puts me in a position where I get laughed at and recorded by his entire family. He planned for my 26th birthday this past week, which was held at a restaurant. I told him I wouldn't go if he was going to pull one of those pranks he's famous for because it's a public place and I did not want to be publicly humiliated. He swore on his mom, the Bible, and promised me and brought two witnesses. Wrote an agreement saying he'd pay me money if he pulled a prank, and I believed him and said that I'd go. Canceled with my parents who wanted to celebrate at their house. The day of my birthday, I got a text from one of my friend's wives telling me she heard him tell her that her husband about the prank he was going to pull on me at the restaurant. You fucker! What's with people not understanding what the word no means? Like, if someone says no, that means they don't want it. Okay, okay. I was stunned, and she detailed all the plans it was gonna be. I felt upset and anxious. He already went ahead and got the restaurant to make sure it was all set. I ended up deciding not to go. He started calling and texting me where I was, saying he was at the party and he was going to start without me. I turned off my phone and went to my parents' house and had a small party there. That sounds nice. I went home around 7 p.m. and found my husband there fuming at me. He lashed out, asking me why the hell I didn't show up to the party after he put in money, time, and effort into it. I told him why, and he called his friend's wife a liar and reminded me of all the promises he made and accused me of not trusting a word. I said I couldn't take the chance and risk having him basically ruin another birthday of mine. We had a huge argument, and then he started giving me the cold shoulder while pouting about how I embarrassed him and wasted his time and money by not showing up. Nice prank, bro. Yeah, it's prankster automatic, not the asshole. Like, if anyone calls themselves a prankster, why would you want to be that person's friend? No, why would you want to be with that person at all? Or dating them? That's awful. I don't know, but I think the what is it, girlfriend, wife? I think the wife is the ultimate prankster. That was a pretty good prank. Yeah. Yeah, just immature assholes using pranking as an excuse to be immature assholes. Yeah. Divorce. Straight up divorce. Am I the asshole for stealing back a necklace my father made me give to my stepsister? No. No. Is it really stealing back if you were forced to give it away? It's still technically yours because you didn't willfully give it up. My 15 female parents divorced when I was 4, and my father, 47M, remarried 2 years later. My stepmother Elizabeth, 40 female, brought her daughter, 13, with her when she moved in with my father. By court order, I live half on, half off with my dad. But I tend to stick around my mom's place more since I hate my stepfamily. Since Elizabeth remarried, my father has taken it upon him. Oh, my father. Since Elizabeth remarried my father, she has taken it upon herself to basically cut me out of the family. And once my half brother, 8 male, was born, it was like they barely knew I existed. My father hasn't turned up to one of my big events since I was 11. And that was my birthday party. I was really close to my grandfather on my father's side and loved her or my grandmother on my father's side and loved her to bits. When I was 12, she bought us matching Tiffany necklaces for my birthday. A real simple Tiffany heart, and I really loved it. When my grandmother died earlier this year, she left all of her possessions to me and my cousin Daniel, who I am also really close to. All of our assets were sold for any money and was divided between us and put into a trust that we can't access until we're 25. She also left me a matching necklace she got with, or she also left me the matching necklace she got to go with mine. When I received it, my stepsister began crying and complaining about how having two necklaces where she has none. My dad said she would buy her one as well as she calms down, but she started screaming, even more, saying she wanted my grandmother's. My dad tried to get me to give it to her, but I refused. He ended up threatening to take my phone and remove enough money for another version of the necklace from my bank account. Bro, what? You're really ripping the dead grandmother's necklace from the child? What? Who fucking does that? I handed it over and left to my mother's almost immediately. When I spoke over the phone to my cousin about it that evening, he said we should break into my dad's house and take it back. Thought it was a fabulous idea. So at 11:30 p.m. at night, we drove over to his house and entered through the back door, which I have a key. We snuck through the house to my stepsister's room and took it back. The next morning, I received a call from my dad asking what I thought I was doing breaking into the house late at night. I totally forgot he had one of those doorbells that records and videos us walking to the side of the house and demanded I give the necklace back. I told him all he does is treat me like shit and he won't be returning to this house anytime soon and that he better drop all the fuss over the necklace that's mine. I haven't spoken to him since, but I received some few tastefully worded texts from my stepmother's family about how upset I made my stepsister. Also, my father has been blowing up my sister's phone. Oh, Daniel's mother, saying what a bad job I did raising him and other stuff like that. I asked my mom what she thinks about it, but she thinks I was right to take my necklace back because breaking into my father's house was a bit rash. I mean, is it really breaking into your house if you live there? Like she says she's half on, half off. So like half the time she's with her dad. And it's her necklace. So can you again, like I said in the beginning, can you really steal something that's actually yours? Oh, didn't mean to do that. Edit. Some people are wondering about my half brother. When my grandma's children didn't receive anything. My dad was cut out of my grandma's will years ago, and my grandmother never actually met my half brother. They had no connection, so he wasn't written in the will. My mother is one who holds access to the trust until I'm legal. My dad only has access to my bank account. My aunt and grandmother got along fine with my grandma. Did leave material things to my aunt, like the rest of her jewelry, thousands worth, and other belongings inside her house. Yeah, yeah. Fuck the parent. Fuck that dad. Fuck the dad. As someone who can technically say, as someone who's technically that, I could say it wouldn't be breaking and entering. Fine. It's not breaking and entering. Alright. Um. uh, I think one more. Because then I need to eat food and take a shower and maybe fold some laundry. That might be a little much. One more. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my friend after she shared about my health over social media? I, 34 female, recently got diagnosed with breast cancer. After sharing the news with my immediate family, partner, and close friends, I woke up to find a notification from social media apps saying I was tagged in something. When I opened up the app, it showed my friend, 34 female, made an important made about the importance of a routine checkup for breasts because how common breast cancer is, and then proceeded to tell my story and how I found out I had it. Now, this wouldn't have bothered me if my name wasn't mentioned, but it was given and I was extremely pissed about it. I haven't spoken at my work about this, so I'm trying to figure out when to request medical leave of absence. So the fact that this was open publicly and she doesn't have her profile on private makes it easy for people to find the post about me. I did a test search to make sure enough that eventually it was brought to the link to her post. I reached out to her telling to take down the post, but she refused. She said she's trying to be a good friend and bring awareness, but I don't think my name in the mix is necessary. Not only that, but after reading the comments about how sorry people are for my friend, about what she's going through, and how hard it must be for her because had me soaking up all the attention makes me sick to my stomach. That's so fucked up! Rude! Told her how I felt. In fact, she was so insensitive on the matter, made me realize I need to rethink my friendship, and I told her I need some space. After that, I've had mutual friends reaching out on my side, some saying that I'm the asshole. Contact Facebook directly. This is a problem against their terms of service. Your friend isn't a friend. Neat. Good. Good. Facebook should take it down. Now I'm gonna do one more. Hello, Evan. Welcome to the stream. We're doing one more Am I the Asshole post because this one looks like a long one and it looks juicy. The friend involved is the asshole. Absolutely. What a dick thing to do. Just posting not even your own story. Like, this had nothing to do with you at all. Really. Like, I had a friend go through, like, a very close friend go through cancer when we were in, like, our freshman year of high school. And, like, he's better now. But, like, I've never said really anything about that because, like, that's not my story to tell. Like, that's not something that I'm just gonna, like, shit, like, oh yeah, like, this is what he went through, like, no. No. Why? This is baffling. Absolutely baffling. One more post, though. I'm also need to take a break because now I'm getting heated. I'm like, fuck these people. I'm not even forming words anymore. It's just like, fuck these people. Am I the asshole for being annoyed at my friend because of what she told me when she found out ADHD was the reason for my divorce? Interesting. Probably not. No, probably not the asshole. Anyway, 30 female. I'm about to divorce my husband of 7 years. Male 33. A little backstory, my soon-to-be ex, let's name him James, has ADHD. He was diagnosed in childhood but refuses to take his meds as soon as he was 18. I wasn't aware of his diagnosis, and he only told me about it 4 years of being together. A little bit of backstory explains it a lot. He quit his job after telling me He quit his job after telling me and hasn't gone back since, meaning I have no support of the two of us, so I work like crazy. You think he would be doing the chores, but no, he doesn't. He's gotten a lot of excuses for that, ADHD being the main one. I tried to convince him to get treated, try some other meds to get better ones than he had when he was a child, but he flat out refuses. The problem is that I have to support two of us. I do all the chores, and the cherry on top is the fact that he is an attentive type, so he barely even notices me until he wants something from me. I feel like I'm living with a roommate, not a husband. His whole attention is online gaming. This isn't ADHD. Oh, how's the child tonight? Good. He was over here earlier. The child is Mason. Psst, psst. Come here. Come here. I don't even have to get up. Come here. There you are. Hello. He is here. But I definitely don't think this is ADHD. I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD, but I'm pretty sure I have ADHD. But this is not ADHD. This is just being a fucking dick to your wife. There's no excuses for having ADHD and not doing things, especially when you're home all day. That's just you just have a video game addiction and you need to good divorce his ass. Anyway, where were we? Feeling like I'm living with a roommate, not a husband. His whole attention is online gaming and his friends, and I'm totally ignored. I've I've been writing a book for a month, and he tried to share my excitement in the progress. He still thinks that I only started just despite him telling that it's done and sent it to the editor. What? I've been writing a book for a month and tried to share my excitement and progress, and he still thinks that I only just started despite telling him that it's done and sent off to the editor. She wrote a whole book and he didn't even notice? I'm writing random ass fucking short stories. My boyfriend's like, hand it over. I want to read. What? Fuck this husband. I keep stopping to like say fuck this person, but then I lose where I am. It's like I'm the least of his priorities because I don't give him the thrill unless I get angry. Then things get better for a few days as soon as things calm down, but we're back to square one. Decided to give him chance after chance, but we're always back at the same spot. I've had enough and decided I wanted a divorce. Obviously, he was surprised. What do you mean? How are you surprised? You constantly fight, and neither of you are happy. And then, oh, shock, she wants a divorce. Yeah! She's not happy! Executive dysfunction is a real thing, but there's definitely a point. Yeah. But, like, it doesn't seem... I don't know. I don't know. Either way. Yeah, no, he's being a dick. What the fuck? I gave him a chance. Obviously, he was surprised. He thought everything was peachy because I stopped nagging him. I told my best friend about this, and she was really surprised at her reaction. She, Shannon, also 30 female, told me that I'm disgusting for doing that to him, that he's sick. Fuck your friend. She's not your friend anymore. Dump the guy, dump the friend. Just, you know what? Restart new life with your new book. You are an author now. Be be, be the unnamed person in every fucking, I don't know, story. Be a main character. Tried explaining everything to her, telling her that I tried and I can't anymore, and that I feel like I don't even exist in the relationship, and she wouldn't listen. According to her, I should accommodate my husband, help him because I can handle more than he can. Yeah, she can handle more than he can, apparently, but she shouldn't have to handle everything. I was extremely hurt by what she said. Tried my best, but I feel like I used non-existent. I can't anymore. I left our coffee devastated, only to find out that she started telling everyone what happened and telling them what an awful person I am. I called her and got really angry with her, telling her mind her own business. Yeah, fuck her. And she still wouldn't drop it. She kept telling me that I'm an awful human being I was. After that, I had phone calls from our mutuals getting angry at me and getting angry at, yeah, no, it's time to start your new life. Plenty of comments are saying not the asshole for wanting the divorce, but I want to add that you're also not the asshole for the conflict with your friend. She has no right to comment on your marriage, and she definitely had no right to blab your business to everyone else. Yeah, she's far out of boundaries. Yeah, the friend is infantilizing him. Like, you see this shit? He's licking me. I do think there's certain... I don't... No, dude's being a dick. Using ADHD as an excuse to fucking do whatever he wants. Like, that, sorry, buddy, that's not how the world works. But yeah. That's asshole-ish behavior. Fucking. I still don't have hotkeys. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight. I'm glad. I'm glad I could stream. It was a good time. Glad you all could be here. It was a wonderful time. I will be streaming on Tuesday. It's a baking stream. Do I know what I'm baking? Absolutely not. This is way too far in advance for you to be asking me. Try me again in like 2 hours before I'm supposed to stream. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys when I see you guys next. I'm gonna go make chicken tenders. Goodbye.